Hello heroes of the Dominion. This is Zeus, with the Olympus Guild. Today we will discuss the newest addition to the hero roster, Tristan. To start, we'll go over his skills and first artifact. Then we will dive into his true role and how to effectively utilize him in your team builds. Let's start by covering his skills. The first skill we'll discuss is Tristan's white skill, Sacred Rage. This skill will unleash the might of the Demonic Reliquary on nearby enemies, dealing damage. This is calculated by multiplying his physical attack by 40% and adding 145 times his level. The max attribute is 39,198, however this can change if you have Fenris as patronage. The next skill we'll go over is his green skill, Righteous Zeal. Tristan invokes the light to grant righteous zeal to himself and allies in front of him. This increases physical and magic attack for 5 seconds. If you have any allies in the build that are part of the blessed faction, they will receive double the increase, regardless of their position on the battlefield. This is calculated by multiplying his physical attack by 22% and adding 30 times his level. The max value, without Fenris as patronage, is 15,092. Moving along, we have his blue skill, Serving the Light. With this skill, Tristan releases a demonic soul imprisoned in the Demonic Reliquary. It targets the nearest enemy, and decreases their physical attack by 5 seconds. For each member on the team that is in the blessed faction, he releases an extra demonic soul to target new enemies in order of distance. The reduction in physical attack is calculated by multiplying 0.6% times Tristan's health and adding 25 times his level. With maxed attributes and no patronage, this comes out to 7,485. Lastly, is his violet skill, Blessed Vanguard. Whenever the ally in front of Tristan gains energy, he gains some of it as bonus energy. The amount of energy gained increases if the ally is part of the blessed faction. The bonus energy from any allies in front of Tristan is calculated by multiplying 27% times his level plus 25.8. This will get you a max of 50.1% bonus energy. For allies that are in the blessed faction, you multiply 35% times his level plus 39, for a total of 70.5 bonus energy. Now we will move on to Tristan's weapon artifact, Demonic Reliquary. When he uses his white skill, Sacred Rage in combat, it can trigger an effect that gives bonus armor penetration for the entire team for 9 seconds. Therefore, Olympus considers him to be more of a support than a warrior. We will cover this in the next section. Moving along, we'll now discuss Tristan's real purpose and how to use him. Tristan's role is listed as warrior. However, he should also be listed as a support hero. He is a warrior because he fights in the front line in close quarters combat. Being a warrior hero does not mean that he is a strong damage dealer. Tristan is not like Kark, Yasmin, Elmir, etc. His second skill increases physical and magic attack for 5 seconds, which is a support skill, not a damage dealing skill. His third skill decreases physical attack of nearby enemies. Again, this is a support skill and not a damage dealing skill. His fourth skill gains energy whenever an ally in front gains energy. Yet again, this is a support skill and not a damage dealing skill. So why do we consider his violet skill to be more support in nature? Because when he gains energy, he uses his first skill and activates his first artifact, which is armor penetration. This allows physical damage dealers to ignore the amount of armor and inflict more damage. This does not mean that he is not a good hero. In fact, it is quite the opposite. He is very good if you build the team around him correctly. We have tested him, and his performance is amazing when supporting physical attackers. When should you put Tristan in the lineup? As we mentioned above, Tristan is not only a warrior, but he is also a support hero. His first artifact gives armor penetration, which means he should be matched with physical teams. Or, at the very least, main damage dealers must be physical attackers. Tristan can also be used in place of Isaac. Here is the logic behind this idea. As I'm sure you are aware, Isaac gives armor penetration from his first artifact. If you fight physical teams, Isaac's boost does not occur as often as it would if he was fighting mage teams. This means, he doesn't build up enough energy to support main damage dealers' armor penetration. Prior to the release of Tristan, when we had battles with physical teams, we would use a roster like Anvari, Dante, Nebula, and Sebastian. Instead of Isaac, we'd use Qingmao or Elmir. Again, Isaac's effectiveness was limited due to lack of mage attacks. Now we have an alternative. Tristan. Since he can build energy quickly, his first artifact activation is invaluable to physical damage dealers. This is why we consider him to be more of a support hero than a warrior. So, what combinations should you use with Tristan? To perform optimally, Tristan needs to have a proper tank in front of him. The ideal tanks would be Luther or Galahad, which are blessed heroes. This is important because of Tristan's fourth artifact, Blessed Vanguard. With this artifact, whenever an ally in front of him gains energy, Tristan gains some of it as bonus energy. Additionally, the amount of energy increases if the ally is blessed. This speeds up Tristan's energy boost quite a bit. There is one additional unblessed tank hero that has synergy with Tristan. That is Aurora with Cain as patronage. When Aurora is in front of Tristan, he goes crazy and uses his first skill often. This activates his first artifact, armor penetration. The speed of Tristan's energy build-up is faster with Aurora than with Luther or Galahad, if she has Cain for patronage. The downside of using her as the tank is losing the ability to use Cain with Yasmin or Dante. Both heroes perform much better with Cain. We tested Aurora with Oliver and found that the synergy with Tristan is no longer in effect, as she dodges and boosts less often. This affects Tristan's ability to build energy. If you're looking to use Yasmin or Dante, your best bet is to use Luther or Galahad. This will give Tristan the necessary energy boost from the blessed faction. Let's look at how we can build a team around Tristan and Aurora. Since we consider Tristan to be more of a support than a damage dealer, we will need to add damage dealer in the lineup. You can combine him with other warriors or marksmen as long as they don't possess the same artifact team buff of armor penetration. Here's our recommendations. For warrior slot, we suggest Kark. For marksman slot, we suggest Artemis, Dante, Daredevil, Dark Star, Ginger, Jew or Kira. With warriors and marksmen out of the way, we now need critical hit artifact team buff. We strongly recommend Sebastian, not only for his artifact team buff but also his ability to remove all debuffs from the allied team with his white skill, Ode to Serenity. The fifth and final slot that needs to be filled will be a healer. Our top picks are Martha, Dorian, Jet, and Nebula. Which one you choose is up to you and your particular situation. The following is a list of team builds that we found performed well under multiple conditions with Tristan, Aurora and Sebastian as the core team. Tristan, Aurora, Sebastian, Jew, and Jet. Tristan, Aurora, Sebastian, Jew, and Nebula. Tristan, Aurora, Sebastian, Jew, and Martha. Tristan, Aurora, Sebastian, Artemis, and Dorian. Tristan, Aurora, Sebastian, Kira, and Jet. Tristan, Aurora, Sebastian, Kira, and Nebula. Tristan, Aurora, Sebastian, Kira, and Dorian. Tristan, Aurora, Sebastian, Astrid and Lucas and Jet. Tristan, Aurora, Sebastian, Ginger, and Martha. A quick note. Kira teams are more vulnerable due to her low health and armor. So, use her sparingly. Next, are two teams based on Yasmin or Dante. They have Tristan, Galahad, Sebastian, Martha and Axel as the core team. Tristan, Galahad, Sebastian, Martha, and Yasmin. Tristan, Galahad, Sebastian, Martha, and Dante. With the Dante build, Galahad boosts Tristan's ult more often. Dante with Cain is the main damage dealer and Sebastian increases critical hit, while also debuffing allies. Martha is added for her first artifact which distributes 32,000 armor to the entire team. This is necessary because Galahad's first artifact gives physical attack but no armor. It is important to have armor in battles against physical teams. Martha also has the added benefit of speeding up allies by 250% for 6 seconds and provides considerable healing. The next group using Yasmin or Dante have a core team consisting of Tristan, Luther, and Sebastian. Tristan, Luther, Sebastian, Dante, and Martha. Tristan, Luther, Sebastian, Dante, and Dorian. Tristan, Luther, Sebastian, Yasmin, and Martha. Tristan, Luther, Sebastian, Yasmin, and Dorian. There are more combinations utilizing Yasmin and Dante with Luther and Galahad. We've provided good combinations that can hold up against the majority of builds you'll come across. All of these can be modified to suit your needs. For instance, when fighting mage teams you can use magic defense heroes like Phobos and Peppy. Again, it depends on the situation and your hero's levels. Make sure to test to find the right solution that works for you. As a final note, you may have noticed that Ju's green skill, I Will Take Your Life, and Ching Mao's blue skill, Dragon's Claw, received a bit of a nerf. There's now a limit on the amount of damage they can deal to the target's health. This is clearly due to Tristan being added to the lineup. If you were to have limitless damage with a team like Tristan, Aurora, Sebastian, Ju, and Jet, you would have a super meta team. Tristan's magic defense is very low. This leaves him vulnerable against mages. For this reason, we don't recommend him for lower level gameplay, as he needs a lot of assistance. Additionally, he is not good as a defensive hero. We suggest waiting until Nexters releases a new skin, to aid in magic defense or physical attack. For advanced players or players with 4 million power, he can be a great addition. As long as you utilize Aurora as tank and have a solid marksman hero. We've included a few battles for you to review. Thank you for watching and we hope you enjoyed the tutorial. If you did, smash the like button. To stay up to date with all the latest content, make sure you subscribe with notifications on. Thank you and we'll see you next time.